Hello and welcome. Today I'm talking all about new and upcoming makeup releases and sharing my thoughts on them. So if you'd like to see that, just keep on watching. First thing I wanted to talk about is the new Pat McGrath Mothership palette that's coming out. This is her Mothership 10. It's the 10th one of her large 10 pan Mothership palettes, and it's called Moonlit Seduction. I had very high hopes, I guess, maybe not high expectations, but high hopes for Mothership 10, and I was hoping for something kind of rainbowy, maybe even a palette with like 10 of the special shades in it, just because it's the 10th, you'd think maybe it's an extra special release. When I saw the photos of this palette, I was a little bit disappointed. It's not very colorful. It's another kind of more muted, somewhat neutral toned palette, but as I continued to look at it and think about it, I do think this looks like a very beautiful palette. It looks like it's going to be quite wearable. It still has those special shades. There's one special shade in particular that really caught my eye. It's the duochrome or multi-chrome shade. It looks beautiful. The shade shift is beautiful. It's kind of like a blue-brown shift, but the texture especially is what really draws me into that shade. Another one of the special shades looks like kind of a rose gold, which I always love. I do have a couple of special rose gold shades already from Pat McGrath, so it's not something that is completely lacking in my collection, but it's something that I know I would use as well. And another one of the special shades is a kind of lavender or lilac that looks very beautiful and unique for my collection as well. So I have decided to get this palette. I ordered it when it released on the Pat McGrath website. It could take a while to get to me, although with her last blush release, her shipping was much faster than it has ever been in the past. So I'm hopeful that I will get this palette before too long. I'm very excited to play with it. I always enjoy my Pat McGrath Mothership palettes. They're just go-tos for me when I want to do something a little bit different, a little bit more sparkly or creative, but they also have the ability to be very wearable, and even her more kind of standard metallic shades are really beautiful just as one and dones. So hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of use out of this palette, and I'm excited to try it out and see it in person, because her palettes in person are always even more beautiful than they look like in the promotional images. The next thing I wanted to just touch on briefly is the new Lisa Eldridge lipsticks that have come out. She's brought out 10 new shades of lipstick, 7 luxuriously lucent, which is more of a kind of sheer satin type formula, and 3 new shades of insanely saturated. I've already done a number of videos on these lipsticks. I bought all 10 shades, and I have a video where I lip swatch all of them and another video where I do comparisons for all of those. So if you haven't seen those and you're interested in the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, I would suggest taking a look at those videos. Hopefully they're going to be a good resource for you. And I also wanted to mention something that is going to be coming out hopefully pretty soon. I think she said within the next couple of weeks. She's going to be bringing out, I think, 6 new shades of her liquid Lurex eyeshadows. I have the 5 shades that she initially released, and I enjoy them quite a bit. I've actually been using them a lot more just in the past few weeks, really been making an effort to use those and enjoying them. I'm wearing 2 of the shades today. I have Bianca and Anjelica on my eyes today. And looking at these 6 new shades, I was hoping for maybe a couple of kind of more colorful, brighter shades. I think it would be amazing to see a really kind of glittery sky blue or ocean blue type color in this formula, but hopefully that's something we'll be getting in the future. But these shades in this new launch look to be, again, a little bit more on the neutral, kind of everyday wearable side. There seem to be a couple of sort of taupey brownish shades, which is nice to see because that is something I think was missing in the initial launch. There's a kind of deep purple violet shade. Another one that looks almost similar to Diana, which is the coppery orange that was already released, but perhaps a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit more of a peachy tone. And then there's also a gold, which looks very nice. It's more of a kind of greenish brassy gold compared to the very yellowy, almost orangey gold in the shade Lauren that we have already. So I'm not planning to get all of these. I don't think that it is necessary for me to get all of them, but I'd like to get maybe 2 or 3 shades. I'll be very curious to see how that kind of more peachy orange shade looks, because it looks beautiful and like a shade that I would love to wear, but if it's too similar to Diana, then I don't think there's any point in me getting it. I'll be looking out for that one. probably one of the more taupey brown shades and probably that gold shade. I'm not particularly interested in the purple. I'm usually just not drawn to wearing purple eyeshadow anyway, so I probably won't get that deeper purple one, but I'll definitely be keeping my eye out on seeing more information about those shades, and we'll be getting probably 2 or 3 of them. Next, I wanted to talk about the Suqqu Autumn Winter collection that has just been released in the last couple of days. I've never bought any Suqqu products before, but I've heard only really excellent things about them. And I'm very interested, especially in their melting powder blush formula, which I believe only came out for the first time this year in 2022. And there are 2 new shades of this melting blush formula in this new collection. And the lighter one in particular is the one that I really have my eye on. This collection launched at Selfridges first. And right now I think it's still the only retailer that you can get these products, but it is supposed to be coming to Cult Beauty and maybe a couple of other retailers, Harrods, on August 5th, I believe. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye on that. I think the only thing I really want to get from that is that one blush. The eyeshadow palettes look beautiful. I'm particularly drawn to the one that has that kind of cooler mossy green shade in it. I think that's beautiful, but I just don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, especially with the new Pat McGrath one on its way to me. There are 2 new foundations coming out that I wanted to touch on. One is from Lancome, which looks like it's kind of a more glowy, dewy type foundation. And then there's an Hourglass one coming out, which looks to be kind of more like a soft, natural matte type finish. Of the 2, I'm more drawn to the Hourglass one. The Lancome one has hyaluronic acid in it, so I wouldn't be getting that anyway. But the Hourglass one sounds quite interesting. I'm not going to be getting it because I feel like my Lisa Eldridge foundations kind of fit that bill for me. I've been enjoying my Lisa Eldridge foundation, particularly in the shade 4, so much this summer, so I just don't feel like I need to pull in another foundation right now. But the Hourglass one does look interesting, and I'll be looking out for reviews on that one and maybe just keeping it in mind for the future if I need to get a new foundation at some point. Next up, I wanted to mention the Rare Beauty Kind Words matte lipsticks. This is a new release. I actually have one of them. I haven't used it on my channel yet, but I got the shade Lively, and I'll just swatch it for you here so you can see it. If you wanted to see how this shade compares to some of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks in this new collection, and actually some of her older releases as well, you can check out my Lisa Eldridge comparisons video that I posted recently. I used this as one of my comparisons. The formula is quite nice. To me, it's very similar to the Bite Beauty Power Move matte lipsticks, as well as the Makeup by Mario matte lipsticks that released a couple of months ago. So it's nice, but to me, it's nothing exceptionally special. I think the range of colors is quite nice and definitely worth checking out if you're interested in kind of more lightweight, soft, matte type lipstick that doesn't feel too drying on the lips. Rose Inc has very recently brought out a few new shades of her cream blushes. I won't be getting any of them because her blush formula has hyaluronic acid in it, but I have tried the formula. I had 3 shades that I've since given away, but I love that formula. It's quite highly pigmented and kind of almost like a thicker, creamy feeling, but it looks really beautiful on the skin and becomes one with the skin and gives a lovely, creamy, dewy texture on the skin. So if you're interested in those blushes and you like the sounds of that, I would say check out the new shades and see if there's something that appeals to you. Victoria Beckham Beauty has also brought out a couple of new blush shades. There's one that's a very bright, kind of fiery, orangey red shade called Fever. And the other one is a more cool tone shade, kind of like a deeper, cool berry tone, and it's called Fame. I didn't get either of these. I just don't need any more blushes right now. And of these 2 colors, I would be more inclined to try the warmer, kind of bright one. But I have a couple of quite warm reddish blushes already that I just don't feel like I need to add another one in, although I love the Cheeky Posh Cream Blush formula. It's actually one of my top favorite cream blush formulas. So if either of those shades sounds appealing to you, I would definitely recommend checking them out because it's a fantastic cream blush formula. Victoria Beckham Beauty has also brought out a new shade of her Bitten Lip Tint. That's their lip stain lip tint type product. I actually have a shade of that I've had since probably fall last year, and I love it. I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel, but I have the shade Amour, which is a kind of browny peach shade, which is my perfect everyday lip shade. My only issue with this formula is that I find I can't wear it 2 days in a row because it will dry my lips out, but I can wear it for a full day and be fine. It's just if I try to wear it a second day, it'll dry my lips out. It actually doesn't feel dry on the lips at all when you put it on. It feels kind of moisturizing. I like the formula a lot. I love the look of the lip stain because it's very natural looking. It looks like you don't really have anything on, and that's just the color of your lips. And it also gives a nice kind of blurred effect to the edges of the lips, which I think can be really flattering. So I enjoy that formula a lot. And this new shade that has been brought out is called Poupette, and it's described as a sheer soft melon. So it looks beautiful, but for me, I don't really feel any need to get it because I'm so happy with the Amour shade. I can't imagine any shade being better for me. But this one looks like a little bit of a lighter, kind of brighter peachy coral. So if that's the type of lip stain shade that you've been looking for, I would say consider it because not everyone loves this formula, I know that, but I enjoy it quite a lot. As I say, the only downside for me is that I can't wear it 2 days in a row because it will dry my lips out a little bit. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is something that I actually have and have been trying out for a few weeks now and really enjoy. It's the Monika Blunder Liquid Flush Cheek Tints. She's brought out 4 shades of this liquid blush, and I have 2 of them. So I have the shade München, which is described as a neutral pink, and I also have the shade Salzburg, which is described as a peachy pink. It's a little bit deeper than München. So that one there is München and that one's Salzburg. They're looking quite similar on the monitor here, and they're not all that different. München is just a little bit more neutral and kind of beigey pink, while Salzburg is more of a peachy, corally, warmer pink. And this formula is fantastic. I have to demo these soon on my channel because I want to talk about these a lot more, but this formula is great. To me, this formula is what the Rare Beauty matte liquid blush formula wanted to be. So these are excellent. I will make sure to use them and demo them in a future video so you can see them in action and I can share my more complete thoughts on them, but these are fantastic. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the lawnmower noise in the background. Let me know what you think of these new releases, if you're planning on getting any of them. And let me know if you have any other questions or comments. I always love to see those. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already and you'd like to see more from me, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks again so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.